Starting. Let's see. Now I see myself. Look at that. Okay. All right, cool. All right, and Dementia Radio now, and recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast, brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski!
We have a pre-recorded Steve Goodie this week.
We do have a pre-recorded Steve Goodie this week. I did send the link to Bob Emmett of Project Sisyphus, but I haven't heard back, so I'm probably not going to be joining us. But welcome to episode 722 of the Funny Music Podcast for Thursday, April 18th, 2024. The title of this week's episode is A Spiritual Contest. So I'll put that in the chat. I knew I forgot to do something. All right. So, let's get into it.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke failed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Well, mainly just, I spent most of my time off over the past weekend working on my taxes, and I got them done, so that's very good. And it's always a chore because I'm, as a person who's both trying to create comedy music and, be a freelance illustrator and storyboard artist, it's like I have to, there's various things that I can deduct, so I basically have to go through all of my kind of checking account and credit card, like digital receipts, looking for things that I can deduct, etc., and
preaching to the choir, dude.
Yeah, so it takes some work, but getting things done. So, what's the other? Yeah. On Tuesday, this is like, like Kalani, much like you, unfortunately got laid off. But like the day she got laid off, like earlier that morning, she bought us tickets to a Star Wars Disney After Dark event. And she was, and then she's like, well, they're already paid for. There's no reason why we shouldn't go do this fun thing that she already bought the tickets for. So we went out there, and it was interesting. It's basically, these events, they're kind of like, they had like their Halloween Oogie Boogie Bash, and they've kind of figured out like, oh hey, if we have all these themed later in the evening events, for primarily adults, we can make more money. So so there was some cool stuff there. They had a lot of like, it's like they listed that there were going to be a bunch of special characters out that you could do, but they didn't say which ones you could properly get like pictures with, like as far as like stopping and taking post pictures and like having a brief interaction with the character and having like the official Disney photographer take the picture and stuff. So they didn't say which ones were going to be which. They just kind of said, oh, there's all these characters here. So they listed Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and R2-D2. And so it's like, well, of course we're going to want to get, pictures with them because, they're friggin' the main characters of the main movie, pretty much. It's like, at least that's the way I look at it. If Luke Skywalker was the main character of the first movie, and dang it, that nothing can change that. So when we got up to that one, it was in Tomorrowland, and we found out that wasn't a proper like stop and take a photo thing. It was literally a thing where they had a line where you could just kind of like walk by them and sort of like say hi, or if you were, slick enough or had a friends to help you, you could like do a quick like picture action and then like keep walking, And it just kind of annoyed me because I'm like, they had like these other places where you could stop and get things. Like they had like the big what's it called? The mythosaur head from the skull of like the Mandalorian thing. It's like they had official Disney photographers set up for that stuff, but not with Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and R2-D2. It's like, why would you not have proper photos for those characters? So I don't know. Maybe they switch them around every year. I don't know, but anyway, we did get some cool pictures. The one of the things that I suspect this may have been like a first for this series of events, because they had one of the Ewoks out there. They said the Ewok's name was Stripes. I don't know if that's officially that character's name or not. It's just one of the Ewoks has kind of a vertical stripy pattern to their fur. Mm-hmm. So the guy who brought him out just referred to him as Stripes. I don't know if that's whatever. Anyway, but like they had an Ewok. And the line for the Ewok was like the longest line we stood in all night. So I'm assuming maybe this was new. But I was dressed in my Luke Skywalker outfit, which basically is, it's the way he looked when he appeared on The Mandalorian, but it's basically the same thing as the way he looked at the in Return of the Jedi. So I'm like, hell yeah, I want to get a picture with an Ewok if I'm going to be dressed like this. So that was fun. So yeah, I mean, we did it. Oh, and we rode Star Tours, which now has some new parts to it that you can potentially see. One for the show Ahsoka, one for Andor, and one for The Mandalorian. And we only rode it once, but we got the Ahsoka stuff on it. So that made me really happy to see that new part of the stuff with Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka and all. But yeah, that was kind of the big fun thing. And other than that, just I'm still working the day job, still trying to clean up my messes. Oh, and I found Dinobot Snarl from the Transformers the movie '86 series line that is that I'm collecting.
Yeah, and my wife saw your post and demanded I find her one. So I've looked in 2 Walmarts so far and I haven't found any yet.
Yeah, I found mine at Target. So
okay.
So my next ones I'm looking for are Frenzy and Ratchet. Who Ratchet is like it's not it's not as huge as Snarl is. It's kind of like yay sized box or whatever. And then Frenzy, since he's one of the cassette dudes from Soundwave. Like he's pretty small, so he's like a little tiny box. I may have actually seen Frenzy in stores, but just didn't realize that he was from the '86 series.
Frenzy's the dog, right? The dog that turns into the cassette?
Frenzy's one of the the robot guys that turn the pylons on. Like Rumble is the other one where they go like when it like makes earthquakey things.
Okay.
So yeah, Ravage is the dog. Is the
That's
panther
right.
dog?
That's right.
Whatever
Okay.
it is.
I did find a really cool figure of RC. I don't know if it was the same '86 line or not, but it was just a really cool looking figure, and I was like, if I had a job, I'd be buying this right now. But
it may have been, yeah. So I'm gonna. And the next one that's supposed to be coming out soon-ish is Ultra Magnus, which is a pretty big one. So yeah. Anyway, that's all the exciting news from my corner of the universe. What is up with you?
Well, last Friday I went out with some friends to hang out at this place in Parsippany called Recess, which is basically it's just a bar, but they have games and they have this big open area. They have like 4 pool tables and they have one. It's like a shuffleboard table. I'm not even sure what it is, but and then they have a whole bunch of TVs set up with console games underneath them that you can play. And then they had a rack of board games over on the side. So my friends and I played a bunch of board games, played a couple games of pool. And one of the games they had was Telestrations, which is Boob Tree. And unfortunately, like by the time we got to like where we were like maybe we should play Telestrations now. The place was packed. They were doing karaoke, and it was exceedingly loud. So, like, we never would have been able to hear anybody. So, like, I told everyone, I'm like, we need to get together. We need to play this game at some point. Doesn't have to be the official Telestrations thing. I will come with a stack of index cards, and we'll do this. So I'm dying to do that with that group. Monday, I had an audition for a commercial. It's for an online travel site, and it's an interesting concept. The role I went after was a New York Yankees fan who's visiting Boston and doesn't want to admit that he's enjoying himself. So it was kind of a funny concept. I think the audition went okay. I don't know. We'll find out. Yeah, and Tuesday was my wife's birthday. So happy birthday, Jen.
Hey.
And that is about it. I and when she told me about Ratchet, I was like, I got to go find this now, and I couldn't. So, I got her a whole bunch of Legos that she wanted instead. All right, let's get into some music. First song of the week, new one by Steve Goodie, followed by a brief interview. Here is You Don't Shower Enough by Steve Goodie.
Hey guys, thanks for making band rehearsal on time.
Sure thing, but where's John?
Oh, you know guitar players always late for everything.
Yep, but honestly, I can use the break, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know, that guy never washes.
I thought I was the only one who noticed that he reeks.
Oh no, he's the only one who doesn't notice it.
Shh, here he comes.
The power of soap is a beautiful thing. You can choose Dove or Ivory or some Irish Spring. Scrape off them briefs, get in there and scrub. This is more than a hint, buddy. You don't shower enough.
You guys are just kidding, right?
No.
This is an intervention.
You reek like the dumpster behind Taco Bell. I know some ferrets with a sexier smell. If your calendar's empty, you got no invites. Better leather it up or stay home tonight. You know you're stinky, like the Johns on a plane. You smell like a St. Bernard coming in from the rain. You're foul and you're funky, bringing tears to my eyes. You need to sanitize. You don't shower enough.
Gross. Oh, man.
You don't shower enough.
Good heaven. OMG. Puke. What is wrong with
The first time you wash it, it might burn a bit. Parting those layers of grime in your pits. Just keep on going, you ain't gonna drown. Don't make me take you through the car wash with the windows down.
Not again.
You know you're rancid, like a 3-day rave. You smell like Dr. Frankenstein out digging up graves. You're gross and you're nasty, you need fungicide. And you outrank low tide. I'm saying change your underwear. You're really right down there. Oh, good Lord, what'd you do? Did you make number 2? Take a damn fire hose to that crust.
Or a chisel.
You don't shower enough.
Stanky guitar. Oh, that stinks. I mean, even for a musician, this is extreme. You're even more offensive than Pepe Le Pew. You know, that sexually aggressive skunk. You're worse.
Much worse.
You know you're putrid, like an open drain. You're a walking wedgie. You're a human pit stain. You're a Frenchman in a rendering plant, burning a pig with peritonitis. Not to mention your chronic gingivitis. You need to shower. You don't shower enough. You're growing mushrooms, and you ought to floss and brush. You don't shower enough. You don't shower enough. You don't shower enough.
Got
I'm
it.
here with Steve Goodie. How you doing, Steve?
I'm fine, I think. I can't remember.
Well, you're not coming to us from your normal studio. You're coming to us from some hotel somewhere.
I'm in Ogden, Utah, the hotbed of comedy. It's true.
Is that the home of the Ogden Edsel? I know they're from...
Indeed.
Ah, okay.
Highly possible. I haven't looked into it yet. I just did my laundry.
Well, that's more important.
I think so. You don't want to be stinky when you're in Ogden.
Speaking of stinky...
See what I did?
Yeah. Tell us about this song.
It's just one of those really dumb things that occurred to me, and then I fleshed it out with the help of our friend Carla Ulbrich and Joe Giacoio and our friend Kendra Shepard and our friend Uncle Walter Cherry.
So, yeah, this is one of those ideas that, like, I can't believe nobody thought of before.
Good. Yep, it was just waiting there. Low
Yeah.
fruit.
But, yeah, you knocked this one out of the park. There are some great lines in this song.
Thanks. I tried to think of all the 1,000 billion ways there are to say that you smell, and I think I found a lot of them.
Yeah, because some of my favorites are I know some ferrets with a sexier smell. And where's the you smell like a Saint Bernard coming in from the rain. There's
Thank you very much.
Poetry right there.
It's a gift I give to you.
So you co-wrote this song?
Yes, I had help from my friend in Ireland whose name I can't pronounce correctly. It
Damn
appears
it. I was hoping you were going to pronounce it so I didn't have to try.
it looks to the American eye that it's Niamh Biagnol, but she pronounces her first name Neve, as in Rupert Neve, creator of great electronic gadgets, including my console. And I'm really not sure how she pronounces her last name, but I'll find out. I met her in Edinburgh last year, and I'm just happy I can pronounce Edinburgh. So, and she's been awesome. She's very clever and very good at. She's part of my little focus group. When I come up with a song, I send it to a few people. What do you think? How's this? What's that? And she's very good at. Everybody can tell you if they think it's funny or not, but she's good at specifics and helped me really nail stuff. And on this one, she actually suggested quite a few things, and I said, "You're a co-writer, so gosh darn it."
All right.
So to her shame. Yeah.
Does she do comedy music?
No. I mean, she's written a few parody lyrics, but she's never recorded anything. I don't think she considers herself a singer. She just really likes funny stuff and not funny stuff. She's quite a good writer of prose, short stories and such. She's published in literary magazines and things. I know. I don't know how I got her on my team. It's crazy.
Steve leveling up.
No.
This is a good sign.
And that's what we get. A stinky song.
Well, if nothing else good came out of Edinburgh, at least you got this connection.
Absolutely.
So what brings you to Ogden, Utah? More house concerts?
Oh, I'm on a tour of shows, house concerts, and comedy clubs and such. Last weekend I was in LA for Dr. Demento's big old birthday party, and then we did a show at Zulu's house with just about everybody in funny music except you, Tom.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was sorry. My son, stupid swimmer.
It was quite the open mic at the end of my show. It just completely went off the rails, culminating with Dr. Demento himself singing, what did he sing? Shaving Cream, with Mezzalesta on the piano, me on the ukulele, Carla on the guitar. It was nuts. We got a band now.
You guys should go on tour. That'd be great.
Yeah, I would love that. So anyway, I was in Boise last night and the night before. Tomorrow I will be in Santa Quin, Utah, out just outside of Salt Lake. And I paused here to talk to you.
Well, we appreciate it.
And do laundry.
Well, that's important because you don't want to smell.
No, man. Like, I don't think I could live it down now.
Bringing it full circle. Yeah. Because you don't want people coming up to you after the show going, that song you did, maybe.
That's what we don't want.
Right.
It's okay to stink it up by not being funny, but the literal way, not good.
Indeed. So how's the tour been going for you?
Pretty good. Can't remember much of it. A lot of driving. But, from my spring break days, if you can't remember it, it went well.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and so far I haven't crashed into anything, and haven't lost any money yet. So, and when you go on a big tour like this, I bring all kinds of gadgetry with me, and so far I have not misplaced anything. I haven't left anything ordinarily when I tour the country, I scatter my belongings far and wide, but so far I haven't misplaced anything that I know of. And when I left town, I brought everything. I only forgot one thing, and it's just a stupid USB cable for transferring data from my particular video camera into a computer, and I can wait till I get home. That's fine. So it's all good.
So all good omens on this tour.
Yeah, if I haven't just ruined it by
Probably,
being
yeah.
excited.
You jinxed it now. You're going to forget all your gear at the next stop. And
Absolutely. Next stop is entertaining the Mormons. And last year it was completely nuts. So I'm excited about this.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nothing to book way, or because I could go either way.
It was good. I mean, it was good. They're super nice, and they had cash. And we didn't talk about certain things, like what's with all the wives. We just left that alone.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's better. Just let it go.
Always better.
All right. So do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Yes, indeed, I do. If you're going to be in Nashville a week from Friday, the 26th of April, I will be playing Sonny's on the north side of town, doing Al, the Weird Tribute, and how Daniel Radcliffe got mixed up in this nonsense at 6 p.m. That's the north side of Nashville on Friday the 16th at 6 p.m. Have a happy hour for once. And then a couple Wednesdays after that on May 8th, doing it at none other than Zany's in Nashville at their new lab next door where they do experimental stuff. And I'm one of the first experiments. So let's hope this goes well or they may close it again. And that'll be May 8th at, I believe the doors open at 6:30 and the show's at 7:30. And all of this can be found at stevegoodie.com.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Best of luck on the tour, and we will catch you next time.
Thanks, pal.
This is the FuMP.
I know I'm a dork, and I wanna sing something dumb all day. Yes, I do. Ow, I love parodies. I just wanna sing something dumb all day.
I'll wrap around your jumbo shrimp and get your heart a-racing, and always leave you satisfied if I can be your bacon.
But some things you can't have your way. Could you just let her watch her boyfriend play? You can't stand Swifties.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
For thee, my brains, get me off this train. This really is a pain. Should've took a plane. Get me off this train.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, Bill Frenzer is now doing a one-man show called Whatever Happens with Bill Frenzer. He describes it as a mad bit of freeform improv, music, random half-truths, and, well, whatever happens. This is taking place Thursdays at 8 p.m. starting on the 25th. Tickets are $10 at the Blackstone Theater in Omaha, Nebraska. For tickets and more information, visit blackstonetheater.org. Bill Frenzer of Ogden Edsel fame, I should say, who was our guest of honor at FuMPFest 2023. Speaking of FuMPFest 2023, I have updated the website for 2024, general information, no announcements yet. And I have the compilation album done, but I'm not shipping it yet because I want to have them in hand for RavenCon next weekend. So when I get back from RavenCon, I will start shipping the compilation albums. And that's all the news I got. You got anything?
No, I don't.
All right. Tour dates. Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goodie hosting at the Bluebird. Sundays online, 2 Sleeps. Mondays online, Steve Goodie and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. Monday and Wednesdays online, Bill Larkin. The 19th and 20th in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. The 20th in Denver, Colorado, Bolognium. 20th and 21st in Salem, Oregon, the Chris Waffle Explosion. The 21st in Chicago, Illinois, Steve Goodie. The 23rd on Zoom, Carla Ulbrich. The 26th in Glen Allen, Virginia, Devo Spice. That's RavenCon. I'll be performing at noon on Saturday and at 2 p.m. on Sunday. And also Saturday at 7 p.m. they're screening my short film, Talk to the Hand. On the 26th in Santa Rosa, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. The 26th in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, Carla Ulbrich. And on the 28th on YouTube, Escape from the Secret Lab, featuring the Consortium of Genius. And I forgot to look up the birthdays. So today's the 18th. So next week is the 25th or 24th? I can't math. 25th. Okay, so no birthdays. We'll get that one next week. All right. All right. Second song is the new one by Project Sisyphus. Been a while since we heard from Bob. I think his last song was, what did we say, 2017?
Yeah, something like that.
It's been a while. So here is It's a Hit Because I'm On It by Project Sisyphus.
There was a time when the Billboard charts were mine. I'd make any song a banger, as long as I'm the one who sang her, beside the tunes I wrote myself. There's all the ones I'm singing on. It's a hit, although there's too many chords. I'll make it sound just like it should. It's a hit, you wrote in a mental ward, but I'll sing it insanely good. Rock, roll, blue and soul, just how you want it. It's a hit, you know it's gonna be a hit because I'm on it. There was a time when you could not melodize, so I got paid a pretty penny to sing with Steely Dan and Kenny, and I've heard it said I might have a yacht someday. Could it come true? All because it's a hit. This song's about banana bread. I would be your monkey. It's a hit. What the IRS commissioner said, I could make it funky from soprano down to baritone. So for piano that was all my own. It's a hit, not yet, but here's the bridge. I can play a few more chords. Take some time to figure out the modulation. I had a seizure singing with Bieber. I'm not regretting, but I'd rather keep forgetting. You want that Grammy? You've got to have me. Depend upon it. It's a hit because I'm on it. I was made famous, though it didn't seem fair. A hit whose name was Be There.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org, port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback. Feedback, you know that segment of the show we do about now? Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
For who could ever learn to love a beast?
Father Beast wrote, I am astonished to hear that someone made a fake version of the Muppets, the Moo-Pets, and they didn't think to use the FuMPets. Well, that was an official Muppets thing, right?
Yeah, that was a part of the movie.
Yeah.
Called The Muppets.
And was that before or after the FuMPet show?
I Let's see. That movie was 2011. The Muppet Show was 2013.
Okay.
So yeah.
So
that came
yeah.
first.
Not that the Muppets have heard of us or know anything about us, but it wasn't even an option as far as the space-time continuum goes.
I started doing stuff like that in around 2010, but it didn't turn into like a bigger thing, and I didn't do officially the Muppet Show until opening ceremonies of MarsCon 2013. So...
All right. Father Beast also says, I'm thinking of a version of stoner rock in which we have someone doing some Kurt Cobain-style incomprehensible singing, and the words would be something like, it doesn't matter that you can't understand the words since you're stoned anyway. We could call it Smells Like Stoner Rock. Thank you, Father Beast. A-Log wrote... Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. A-Log!
Oh my god, it's you, not again!
A-Log wrote... Okay, this is the first I'm hearing of this. Disney was okay with everything else, but not Patty and Selma smoking? Weird. I thought adult animated programs would get away with smoking. Also, equally surprised that certain wackos on the right didn't complain about it. They complained about every other change, but not the lack of cigarettes. It's weird. You know anything about that? Or...
Well, I mean, yeah, I had mentioned that was the kind of only thing that... the only change I know of that happened on the show is, when Disney took over was them having Patty and Selma stop smoking.
But they didn't edit the old episodes, right? They still smoked in the old episode.
No.
Yeah, so it was just a going forward thing.
Yeah, it's like I can't remember the exact exchange, but like somebody said something like to Patty and Selma, because they weren't smoking, and one of them responds, "Not since Disney," or something.
Oh,
like
that's
that.
right.
So,
I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been watching all week, just because I've been on an X-Men kick. Because I rewatched the whole original series because I hadn't seen a lot of it of the animated show, and then I started to rewatch all the movies because eventually this year. Deadpool and Wolverine is coming out, and I figured, well, cool, I'll just rewatch all these movies just to get this, fresh in my head for when that movie comes along, just so I can pick up on any of the references that they're going to make. And it's like Logan occasionally has his cigar, but it's kind of more of a running gag about how he's wanting to smoke his cigar and people keep telling him to put it out, or he's in the middle of the danger room and like someone bumps into him and his cigar flies out, like, that was my last cigar, or whatever. So it's like they're not trying to say he never smokes them ever, but they're just trying to like downplay it, know. So yeah. All
right.
But whatever.
And finally, Rhythm 222 wrote, this was on YouTube, I came across the FuMP Volume 39 about a month or two ago, and I've been listening to it a bunch. I finally decided to dive into what the FuMP really was, and I found the website, and I saw how far back it goes, and I love the dedication so much, and I want a detailed timeline of everything that's gone on from the beginning till now. I feel like I'm missing out. Keep up the FuMP. I love it. And then he followed that up with, it's crazy you've been doing these podcasts since 2010. Well,
there's two easy ways to handle that. One is, if you have a paid membership and you can, go back to Volume 1 and download all of the albums, you can literally listen to how the FuMP unfolded in chronological order, and then there's also the videos that come with the downloads, so you can see us talking about the various projects that were going on at the time, in real time. So that's, one way to handle it. Another way to handle it is wait until the guys making the FuMP mini documentary get their thing. Well, I say mini. It's probably a full-length documentary at this point.
I think it is.
Yeah, which will be coming out, I don't know if it'll be out by the end of this year or, early next year or something, but, once it is, we'll be letting everyone know about it, obviously, because I think my assumption is that they're going to kind of cover all of that in, like, roughly, 60 to 90 minutes of a documentary or something.
So here's the thing. I put together a timeline this afternoon.
Oh, you did? Oh, wow. Okay. So the third thing is to listen to what Devo was about to say.
Yeah, and when I'm done after the show tonight, I'm going to post this as a response to his comment on YouTube. So we start July 28th, the weekend of July 28th through the July 30th, 2006. Devo Spice and Rob Balder meet Jonathan Colton at Convergence in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The three had a panel together and nobody showed up, so they spent the hour just chatting, and Rob realized that Joko had successfully adapted the free content model that webcomic authors use to music. Rest of 2006, Rob approaches Shoebox of Worm...
You said Convergence. Are you sure you don't mean Confluence?
Well, I looked up my past YouTube, my past concerts on my website, and it's listed as Convergence. It could be Confluence.
Because Convergence is the big one that happens in the Twin Cities.
You're right.
On 4th of July weekend.
You're right.
So I'm pretty sure
it must be a typo on my website.
Yeah.
So I will.
Because Confluence is the one where I believe it's Randy Hoffman who does the tracking there.
Yeah, that's Randy Hoffman. Yep. All right. Rest of 2006. Rob approaches Shoebox of Worm Quartet about doing the same thing, but with a group of us. Luke Ski, Tom Smith, and Devo Spice are brought in. Devo Spice programs the website, figures out the business model, and handles all the day-to-day operations as additional artists are brought in to fill out the lineup. January 2nd, 2007, the FuMP.com launches and posts its first song, C is for Lettuce, by Worm Quartet. March...
One thing I liked about pre-launch was that we made this promo that was, the kind of intentionally vague teaser promo of this alarm clock that was going off, and every time it would go off, like a hand would come in and hit it, and every time it hit the clock, a different song by one of us from the group of 7 that started it, would play, and then eventually the numbers on the clock, changed from numbers to saying FuMP. And then that was like our teaser, and I remember, like, people were like, "What is this? Tell us what you're doing." And we're like, "No, we're not going to tell you nothing." So yeah,
yeah, that was fun. I think that's up on YouTube somewhere. It should be.
Yeah.
If not, I should be able to find it and post it.
Yeah.
All right, March 2nd, 2007, the FuMP Volume 1 compilation album is released, which includes all of the songs posted in January and February, plus an interview with Rob Balder as bonus content. Subsequent compilations are released every 2 months. As of this writing, Volume 104 is in early production. August 14th, 2007, the FuMP Sideshow launches, giving amateur musicians and members of the community a place where they can share their songs. December 30th, 2007, Dr. Demento's Funny 25 of the Year comes out, featuring 10 FuMP songs, including all of the songs in the top 5, 3 of which were mine, by the way. This started a run of FuMP songs being the #1 most requested song of the year every year until 2018. December 18th, 2008, the FuMP's radio program launches, giving terrestrial radio DJs access to high-quality, downloadable radio edits of our songs. And then this was kind of an ongoing nebulous thing, so I put down 2007 to 2009. Members of the FuMP begin performing together at various conventions around the country, including Balticon, RavenCon, ICon, Penguicon, and others. The MarsCon comedy music track was started in 2004 by the great Luke Ski and continues to this day. September 5th,
so basically I was the trendsetter.
Yes, you were.
I'm taking credit for all of this.
September 5th, 2009, the FuMP wins a Parsec Award for Best Speculative Fiction Music Podcast. The award was presented to Devo Spice at DragonCon. The FuMP won a second Parsec Award in 2013. June 10th, 2010, the Funny Music Podcast, a.k.a. the FuMPCast, is launched and features Devo Spice and Luke Ski interviewing artists weekly after posting their songs. It also includes news, tour dates, and feedback. And apparently now timelines.
Yeah. And as an interjection, I had for many years had a slot on Dementia Radio on Thursday nights where I would do my comedy music, DJing type of show called Dementia Revolution. And for a time there... before and after, Tony Goldmark would pre-record his show called The Looney Bin, so it would be the Looney Bin, and then my 2-hour show, and then a rerun of the 1-hour Looney Bin. So in a way, like Tony was doing like podcasting before podcasting was a thing.
Yes.
So that was kind of a neat thing. But yeah, like, so that's why, if anyone ever wondered why is this show on Thursday night, it's because that was the slot of Dementia Revolution for all that time. And I kind of hit a point where, I basically, I had a lot of other stuff going on in my life, personally and creatively and this and that. And like doing the DJ thing every Thursday night wasn't a big, priority for me anymore. Pun intended. The novelty had worn off of being an actual DJ. Not that I'm saying, I'm glad everybody else is still doing it because that's awesome. But then when the discussion of us doing this weekly thing. Oh, do you want to talk about the version of this that almost happened that didn't happen, or is that too?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Well, we made a pilot episode featuring somebody important.
Yeah. Well, we can mention that. I think Rob had come up with this idea for a Dr. Demento podcast produced by the FuMP. And the idea was it was going to be a 15-minute podcast hosted by Dr. Demento. He was going to play both FuMP songs of the week and 2 songs of his choosing. And then we told him it could even be, a segment of the Dr. Demento show if you want, and then just pull that segment out and post it as a podcast. And Barry and Arthur were on board with it initially, and I don't remember why it never happened. Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I think maybe they were trying to get like sponsors or somebody to give them money to produce.
Yeah, because that was it. It was
yeah.
because we wanted Dr. Demento to get paid for doing this, and we were trying to find sponsors so that so that something like would happen, and we wouldn't just be expecting Dr. D to do this all for free or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think we were kind of spinning our wheels with this concept for a while, and so we could have, if that concept had never happened, we could have just started doing this version of the podcast much earlier, but we were waiting to see if the thing with Dr. D was going to happen or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember the pilot we recorded. I know it had a song of mine in it, and it had a song by Art Paul in it. I'm sure I have a copy of it somewhere in my archives.
Yeah.
But yeah, But yeah, after a certain amount of time had passed, we kind of figured figured out this whole Dr. D podcast idea isn't going to work. Let's just we'll do it live. We'll just do my Thursday night slot and just interview people every week and make it happen. And we were audio for the most of the time until the pandemic, when Carrie insisted we turn the cameras on. And then we were a video podcast too.
Carrie's like, I know how to make more work for Devo.
Okay, I think literally she was just like, I'm turn on your cameras. I miss people. I want to see you. Turn them on. And then I don't know if it was me or you who said it, but it's like, well, if we're all going to be on, we might as well hit record and record this video. And then it turned into more work for you.
Yep. All right. May 31st, 2011, the FuMP posts its 500th song, We Are the FuMP, a parody of We Are the World, written by the great Luke Ski and featuring vocals by 37 different FuMP artists. It's still one of my favorite songs. That's such an amazing
piece of work. I am so friggin' proud of that song.
You should be. You absolutely should be.
Sometime recently, I forgot who was somebody else was in the apartment with me. It was either Santana or Stephanie or Kalani. Somebody was here. We were watching. There was a new documentary about the night of the recording of We Are the World, kind of a making of it, and just watching the part where it was I think it's the guy from Journey, Cyndi Lauper, and Huey Lewis, doing that kind of thing that leads up to Cyndi Lauper going wow wow wow, and it's like I was like just explaining at the time, it's like that was one of the most important things in the song because it's like it was Kyle and Jared Ringgold and Carrie doing the Cyndi Lauper part, and I'm like, you have to match this just right for this because this is the big thing leading into the first big we are, yeah. So I remember I did a convention in Kansas City, and I remember getting the files like in progress of mixing and listening to it, and I'm like just driving home listening to the mixes over and over again. I'm like, this is so cool. Sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, it's such a great song. Look it up if you haven't heard it. October 15th, 2011, the first annual Logan Whitehurst Memorial Award for Excellence in Comedy Music is held at Con on the Cob in Hudson, Ohio. Awards are given in 3 categories: Outstanding Original Comedy Song, Outstanding Parody Song, and Outstanding Comedy Music Video. Winners are awarded a statuette of a robot cat in honor of the late Logan Whitehurst.
Yeah, and we want to honor him and his legacy and the positive force he brings to us even after death. So really, it's a spiritual contest.
Where's the thing? All right. July 12th, 2012, the FuMP opens up its website to submissions from other artists. Songs are voted on by members of the FuMP, and if the song gets a high enough rating, the artists are invited to post the song. That's why we've had such an influx of new artists over the past decade or so, because people keep finding us, and they're like, oh, I can give them a song.
Like, and sometimes when people find us, like even fans, it's like at FuMPFest this year, we met so many new people who were new and enthusiastic fans of the FuMP, and our main question to them was, how did you find us? Where have you been?
Yeah.
We've been here for 17 years. Where have you been? Anyway.
June 21st, 2013, the great Luke Ski produces Luke Ski Con as a reward for his Kickstarter backers. This serves as the blueprint for a comedy convention that Devo Spice wanted to produce.
Yeah, because I remember in my whole Kickstarter thing talking about what this Luke Ski Con event would have. I'd say, well, and there will be comedy music concerts that I will, refer to as the FuMPFest, because we will have acts from the FuMP coming out and performing. And then, that was where the whole idea was born.
Yep.
And I know nobody liked the rest of the hotel, but I really liked that room we performed. I
agree.
Perfect it was perfect for our purposes.
Yeah, I agree. April 30th, 2014, members of the FuMP and some members of the community put together a music video for Corned Beef and Cabbage by Power Salad as a surprise for Chris Mezzalesta's 50th birthday. That is also on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, it's on Power Salad's YouTube page. I made that. I coordinated that whole thing because I wanted to do something special for Chris's 50th birthday. And, the trickiest part of it for me was, in the very early days, I didn't have this Cintiq. I had like one of the ones where you're just like, drawing on a flat black thing and looking at the screen and trying to make it.
I have one of those.
So that's why the corned beef and the cabbage that are dancing are like not animated the greatest, because I pretty much didn't know what I was doing. But the fact that I got so many people on that video, like, some of whom have passed away, unfortunately. It's so great to see that video again and like relive the memories of all our friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
June 21st, 2014, the first FuMPFest is held in Wheeling, Illinois, with Dr. Demento as the guest of honor. It was a 3-day event featuring concerts, the Logan Awards, Q&A panels, and more. FuMPFest has been held each subsequent year, except 2022, at differing locations and times. www.fumpfest.com. All right, February 16th, 2015, the FuMP launches the official Dr. Demento Facebook group and appoints moderators. The group now has nearly 130,000 members and is the primary way Dr. Demento handles requests. And Facebook won't let you advertise to this group, and it pisses me the hell off. So,
really? Wow, I didn't realize that was...
Because when you do ads on Facebook, you can target like people who are interested in certain things, and if you type in Dr. Demento, it doesn't find the group. So I'm like, There are ads on that group, right? Like when you're browsing, you see ads, right?
I haven't thought about it much lately. Nah.
I don't know. Now that I think of it, I don't know. So I don't know what the deal is with that. But yeah, it pisses me off because that's like a market that I want to advertise to, and I can't.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's like that was another thing where the idea for that came from me being annoyed at other groups that were labeled as Dr. Demento, that people were just using Dr. Demento as a catch-all thing that meant like anything vaguely funny or vaguely nostalgic, and there was just so much garbage in there that had nothing to do with the current actual Dr. Demento show that was on the air. And that's when I whipped up this idea, and Barry dug it, and ever since then it just especially when Facebook changed that rule about how people can post stuff, like we went from being a few thousand people. Like I'd love to see a chart of what the number of members was over time, and see like when that rule change happened at Facebook, and to see like how it spiked from that point up.
December 11th, 2015, the song 1000 FuMPs is posted, which is the 1000th song posted to the site. The song was written by the great Luke Ski and features vocals by 25 different FuMP artists.
Yeah, and on that one, I tried to make sure to include acts that had, come along since that had come along since We Are the FuMP, so that we could have some of the, more recent representation of what was on the FuMP.
And I did look it up, but I forgot to write it down. As of now, the running total for songs is... Wait a minute. Come on, scroll all the way down. 1,941, because there's two of the other ones. So we are about 60 songs away from 2,000. So we should probably start planning our 2,000th song now.
Okay.
December 27th, 2018, the FuMP.com relaunches with new code base and slightly tweaked design. The new site features a static music player at the bottom of the page and a site-wide search. And a bunch of other features that aren't worth listing. April 23rd, 2020, the first video episode of the FuMPCast is posted after Carrie Dalby suggested everyone turn on their Zoom cameras the previous week on the call. October 5th through October 8th, 2023, FuMPFest joins Con on the Cob in an attempt to make the event easier to manage and more affordable. And finally, December 14th, 2023, the FuMP releases a tribute album of Tom Lehrer songs called The FuMP Desecrates Tom Lehrer.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
That album is friggin' epic.
It is.
Cannot be understated how amazing that album is. So yeah.
So there you go. There's the entire FuMP timeline, unless I forgot something or left something out. But I think that's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I could sort of think of is the fact that in the virtual year because of the pandemic.
Yeah, I did have that initially, but then I realized I wasn't listing all of the other FuMPFests, and I was I could either list all the FuMPFests or just. And I wasn't doing that with other stuff. Like I didn't at least list, all 104 compilation albums. That was just taking forever.
Yeah. Well, maybe this portion of this episode could be video content for a future FuMP CD.
Ooh, good idea. I like that.
You could maybe add some graphics or pictures of stuff as we're talking about them.
I will do that. Actually, yes, I will absolutely do that. Thank you. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for feedback. And
teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah. So Ian's already teased this one, but tomorrow's song is by Insane Ian. He's been posting artwork all over Facebook and Instagram. And Tuesday's song is by Via Bella.
Woohoo!
All right, and I need a topic for this week's Spotify playlist. Any suggestions?
Parodies of Total Eclipse of the Heart.
I only know those three.
You forgot one.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, I put it on the what am I trying to say? I put it on my Psychopotpourri compilation as dumb parody idea number 0. My thing with Ian. Playing some
Mario Kart. Yeah.
So
but that wasn't a full song. That was just the segment of it, right?
Well, I mean, it was like a minute and a half.
Okay,
I think
yeah.
it was. Yeah. Anyway. Topic.
Anything happening this week we need to... Is Saturday Earth Day? When is Earth Day?
I don't know.
April 22nd. So that's Monday.
So yeah, that's...
Okay.
Yeah. You could do Earth.
I will find Earth Day related songs of some kind. Could do Pollution. Something from the COG. I'm sure they have stuff. All right. And something about trees. I'm sure there's tree songs.
Rocks and trees.
Oh, yeah. Rocks and trees. All right, cool. I will find some more. All right. So that is going to do it for this episode of the FuMPCast. Steve Goodie's at stevegoodie.com. Project Sisyphus, I don't think has a website, so you can find him on the FuMP. And that's it. Let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
And I'm Luke Ski. And Steve Goodie had a song this week, like he does every week.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Shout it to random people on the street. And be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say...
I don't know what to say, so I'm just gonna talk like Gilbert until that final note fades out and then I'll stop.